Fractal figures in snowflakes and the purification of pollutants. Today, cleanliness is defined with greater precision. Water may look clear, yet we always want to check for microplastics, residues from detergents and cosmetics, and traces of pharmaceuticals. Water appears pure, but we keep looking for the unseen particles. The methods of purification are quite familiar to us. Substances are added to water to capture pollutants, or scattered particles are gathered into a single mass. Up to this point, the process feels reassuring. But purification does not end here. The pollution does not disappear. It clings to what is added and remains. In the end, those clumps or particles must be removed from the water again. After purification, another step of cleanup remains. Can the power to remove impurities remain the same while making recovery easier? Instead of dispersing powder into the water, imagine a single removable frame. Let the water pass through and the pollution stay within it. For this to work, the frame must offer many points of contact. To remove is, in the end, to come into contact. If we look closely at the snow piled along the roadside, a clue appears. It was clearly clean yesterday, yet before long it has turned a dull gray. When clean snow quickly gathers dust and particles, it suggests that many edges are places where things catch. A closer look at a snowflake makes it clear. Its boundary is not smooth. It keeps branching, like fine twigs. Those gaps and edges increase the surface where inside and outside meet. The figure that mirrors this boundary in mathematics is the cock snowflake. It begins with a single equilateral triangle. Each side is divided into 3 equal parts, and the middle segment is replaced with a small outward triangle. This process is repeated. The rule is simple, yet with each repetition, the edge grows longer and more complex. Even without greatly increasing the area, the boundary that meets the outside continues to expand. Fractals work in this way, a small rule that is repeated, extending the boundary. Applied to purification, the idea becomes clear. Sites where pollutants can attach are densely built into a structured frame. When purification is complete, only the frame needs to be removed. This leads to the idea of a filter modeled on a fractal structure. For example, consider a structure like a Menger sponge. It is full of holes on the outside, and within each hole are even smaller holes. Water continues to flow through it while the surface area keeps increasing. If the surface is coated with a material such as zeolite, which contains countless microscopic pores, efficiency rises even further. If a fractal structure opens up large pathways, zeolite places tiny traps along each passage. For pollutants, this means that as they follow the flow, the likelihood of touching a surface and becoming trapped increases significantly. The same principle applies to the air. An air purifier draws in surrounding air and passes it through multiple layers of filters. At the very front is the pre-filter, the first stage of sorting. A thin mesh, like a mosquito net, captures large dust particles, lint, and hair. It is the step that says, remove the large ones first. Next comes the dust collection filter, commonly called a HEPA filter. A dense layer of ultra-fine fibers is tightly interwoven, increasing the chance that passing air will meet dust particles. The filter is folded into pleats for a reason, to fit more surface area into the same volume. More surface means more points of contact. Fine dust is not captured by a single mechanism. Larger particles follow the airflow and collide directly with the fibers. Medium-sized particles are intercepted as they pass. Very small particles move irregularly, eventually touching a fiber and becoming trapped. Some filters also add electrostatic properties to enhance capture. In the end, the filter does not allow air a shortcut. It creates a deliberately complex, winding path that forces repeated encounters. Only then can particles be removed. The final deodorizing filter is not for fine dust. It captures odors and harmful gases. Activated carbon is a common example. It has countless tiny pores inside and out, and odor molecules cling to them. From the outside, it looks like a simple black mass, but inside it is densely packed with holding sites. At this point, a snowflake begins to look different. Perhaps it was never only its shape that made it beautiful. It repeats a small rule, widening the surface where it meets the world. That same sensibility extends into technology that purifies water and air. And so the question returns. To protect what matters, which meeting surface should be widened? Perhaps on that broadened surface, even the mind may pause to breathe.